Today we are going to talk about how social media can benefit you and your brand. We're going to do a little bit of education on some of the rules of social media and some of the best social media networks for you to be a part of. And hopefully you can learn a little bit more about how you can engage with future customers and get some brand awareness started for your products. So first of all, if you don't really understand what social media is and how it can benefit your business, it's a good idea to get on that bandwagon now because you can be fairly assured that your competitors are already there. Big brands and small brands alike are using social media to engage with potential customers and get people talking about their products. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that social media is something that's going to result in direct sales for your products or even in a hard sell, but that's not really the purpose of social media. What you want to do with social media is get your brand and your products in people's minds so that when they have a need for those products, they're going to turn to you, and that's going to result in a direct sale. So the purpose of social media is more to build relationships and start discussions and interactions with your potential client base. And that in turn will get them into your sales funnel, which will eventually result in a direct sale. So if you're using social media, don't make the mistake of thinking that your Twitter post is going to make people buy or measure your metrics in, your Twitter posts are resulting in sales or not. You shouldn't necessarily expect your social media to result in sales. What you should expect is that it gets your product in people's minds, and that can turn into a sale down the road for you. So the first thing that you need to know about social media is it's not a direct sell, it's a way to get people talking, and it can be used very functionally for your business in a variety of ways. For instance, you could use your Facebook or Twitter to do customer support. So if someone has a problem with your product or brand, you could assess that and then kind of turn around and fix it, post that you fixed it, and that's going to result in great PR for your business online. If you're just building your brand, now is the very best time for you to get in on social media and to start your pages, because if your brand does start to get popular, you can use social media to leverage that popularity, and your profiles will have been around for a while, so it'll be really useful for you to have those profiles up and running from the very get-go. So let's get started talking a little bit about how big brands use social media. A really great way to look at a big brand's use of something like Facebook is to check out Tide. A lot of people are really familiar with Tide. It's obviously household detergent, and it's a huge brand. Tide seems to run a lot of contests, and contests, giveaways, that type of thing are a really great way to use social media, and they're a really great way to use Facebook. So take a look at what Tide does. They ask you to take a poll or write a review, and that will enter you into their giveaway. So what they're really getting from a customer who chooses to write a review is really valuable stuff. They're basically for free getting content and feedback about their product that can be used and leveraged on social media. And that's a really huge deal. It may seem like they're giving away product to get this stuff, so they're losing out, but the more people talk about them and the more information is out there about their brand and their product, the more they're going to be known in the public market and they're going to get around. And it's stuff like this that could very well make Tide a bigger and bigger brand, just being willing to kind of get their product out there in exchange for that information. And this, for a brand or a product like yours, is huge to have people out there talking about you in any way possible. So it's really good to take a look at how Tide is using their social media. Another great thing that they do is they get out there and like products that are related to their product or are part of the same family's brands, like Secret, Bounce, Downy. And you can be assured that people come to the Tide page and end up clicking on these other big brands that belong to Tide's parent company. So as you can see, Tide really utilizes every aspect of their page in a way that's going to get people talking about their brand, and by giving this valuable information, they could possibly win stuff. So that's going to be really helpful for Tide. So you could do the same kind of thing. You want to start a Facebook profile, and your profile is necessary to use the other components of Facebook. You could make a personal profile with your name where other people could find out stuff about you, or you could just make one for your company, so instead of your name you could have your company's name here. So one of the first things with Facebook that we should talk about is the Facebook group. And you can create a group from your homepage by clicking Create Group. A group is going to be a small private community that's united under a central purpose. So whether your group is going to be about your brand name or a cause of some sort, you want to keep in mind that when you create a group, it's not a public listing for your business. It's a way to network with a group of people privately on Facebook. So if we wanted to create a group called Fashion Accessories, you could invite friends that you have. You could change the privacy settings of the group, and once you create it, keep in mind it's not going to be public. You're just going to have kind of a small focus group of people that you can talk to, and your information isn't going to be publicly posted or out there for other Facebook members who aren't part of the group to engage in. So you could create a group. Another thing that you could do is create a business page. So if you type page up here, you're going to eventually see Facebook pages come up. And if you click on Facebook pages, you're going to see a variety of pages that were already made. And up here to the top right, you're going to see a button that says Create Page. And when you click that, you have a ton of options. You could create a page for a local business, for yourself, for a brand or a product. So let's say that we're selling red shoes, and the name of our product is going to end up being red shoes. You just agree to the terms and fill out that information. You might have to do a CAPTCHA. And once you submit that info and you get started, you're going to be taken to a page that looks like this. Now you'll need to go through and add an image, add information about your company and your page, and once you have your page filled out with a whole lot of info about your business and you go through all these steps that Facebook suggests, when you post new stuff on your page, it's going to show up here, which is your wall. So you can see Facebook says this is your page wall, share stories, photos, post links, and upload videos for your fans. So once you get all your basic information filled out, you can use your wall to continuously communicate with your brand. And you can also ask people to like you by pressing this button on your page. And it's really important to try to get people to push that button, because once they do, anytime you make a post on your wall, it's going to show up in their Facebook feed. So the more fans you can get on Facebook, the better. And when your page looks really nice and it's decked out, you might want to consider clicking here and promoting with an ad. Everything else that we're going to go over today is pretty much free, but Facebook ads you have to pay for. And in many cases, this ends up being a really great tool for businesses to get new customers or to get people interested in their brand. Facebook ads are more kind of in the realm of pay-per-click, so you can do direct marketing with Facebook ads. The way that you use them is, you're going to either be able to use your page or an external URL as your destination. You want to make sure Facebook ads is selected. You can change what tab people land on when they come to your Facebook page. And you can see here, this is your ad sample. If you change this, eventually this text is going to change down here. You can also put a custom image in this field. And once you're finished, you just kind of click on this button down here and you'll be taken through the billing process where you can put in your billing information. But that's a really good way to get people to your fan page and even to your website, and it doesn't have to be costly. You can even spend $5 or $10 a day to get Facebook ads going. So again, the four major components of your Facebook page or your Facebook setup are going to be your profile, which you need to use all of the other components, your Facebook group. You can create a business page, which is going to be a public listing, and you can also use Facebook ads to get people to your Facebook pages. So now that we've gone over how you can use the different components of Facebook, let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter is going to be found at twitter.com, and you can create a profile and sign in. Twitter is another great way to reach your audience. One of the ways that you could use Twitter is to create a profile for your company or brand and then stick your URL and information about your products up under your profile. So you can click edit your profile and you'll be taken to a page that will let you change some of your details like this. So once you've done that, the important thing to do with Twitter is to start looking for friends to follow. So if you sell red shoes, or you have a fashion product, you could type fashion up here at the top, and you're going to see a lot of different results for fashion. So you could, some people will promote products on Twitter and you have to pay money for that. You could, for instance, go to ModCloth, and when you click on their name, you're going to see a follow button here, and if you follow them, then you're going to get their tweets in your Twitter feed. And it's the same with the rest of these profiles. You can just go through and follow several people on Twitter, and what you're aiming for is for them to follow you back. So you can see whether or not people are following you back here. These are the number of people that are following you, and this would be how many people you're following. So once you've followed people, when you click home on your Twitter page, you're going to see their tweets in your Twitter feed. When you actually post on Twitter, you have 140 characters to post in, and this is what makes Twitter really effective. You can say a lot with a small amount of words, which is really kind of the point of Twitter. So go through and kind of take a look at how other people are using Twitter and how they're getting their messages across, and kind of try to do the same thing with your Twitter posts. You can also focus on trends. So these are topics that are showing up a lot in other people's tweets. So you can always come up with a post that has to do with one of these trend words and put that up here in your Twitter post. If you do that, just make sure that whatever your tweet is relevant to these trends. Don't just say something like 4 words I never want to hear. Buy from us today, because that's not going to make any sense. And people also, again, resent being directly marketed to or solicited on social media. So just make sure that whatever conversation you're having with people, those conversations are relevant. You can also mention other users in your Twitter by having @ in front of their name and just kind of typing that up here in your post. If you want to talk to someone publicly, you can retweet what someone says. So for instance, if you wanted to do that, you could just hover over their name and you're going to see an option for retweet. And if you click that, you're going to see a box that asks you for sure if you want to retweet what they've written, and you just click retweet and it'll show up as something that you've written. So Twitter is another great way to get people engaged with your brand, and you can also add links to your site from Twitter that people can follow directly from your tweets. So another great way to get people engaged is YouTube. So let's check out YouTube. While you're on YouTube, you can create an account and upload movies. And let's just see how this would look. So for instance, if you are advertising, again, red shoes, we could go down here and let me just